pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Have approval of the financial report. So moved.
Bob, could I ask that you read those reports so we know what you guys are approving?
Well, the financial report is this thick. I don't think you want to sit here and listen to me read it. You're welcome to have a copy of it.
Yeah, but I got a FOIL request it and all that. Can I get a copy of it tonight?
Sure.
So I don't have to come back and FOIL it tomorrow?
Yeah, no, I'll copy it. Don't.
Great, okay.
Remind me, I'll copy it for you. Okay. Who made the motion? Okay. Second? Motion by Councilman Pacer, second by Councilman Dees to approve the financial report. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Oh, no. No.
And the approval of the April 10th, 2023 meeting minutes.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Councilman Panic, second by Councilman Pacer to approve the April 10th, 2023 meeting minutes. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried. Need approval of the public meeting of April 18th for the adopting the supplemental bond for Water District 12. This is just a draft. Motion to do that?
So moved. Second.
Motion by Councilman Pacer, second by Councilman Schramm to approve public meeting of April 18th, 2023. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried. The approval of the fire department report. I can read it here for those of you. Stafford Volunteer Fire Department answered 21 calls last month. And those calls were EMS, MDAs, and structure fire. The department members completed 95 hours of training last month. Some of the training included ventilating, tracing at the fire training center, and CPR emergencies. Signed by Tim Ekdahl, Volunteer Fire Chief.
Bob, I got a question. Do they break that down as to what they're spending that money on? That's not telling you what they're spending the money on. They're spending, what's their budget? 300, 400,000 a year?
That's a question for them.
That's $8,000 a week. What
Yeah,
are they spending on that?
There's nothing in here in the.
No, I know, I think they should start putting down if it's gas, tires, equipment, something, so that you know what you're spending on that.
Okay,
Well, didn't we just see an update from them on their expenditures? That they sent out?
Like a quarterly report.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we get those.
Do you?
Yes. No, I didn't look, I didn't study it out, I just
No, it's
saw
in the
it there.
file. It can be filed, anybody wants to see it.
All right.
Motion to approve.
Yeah, it's just an activity report, so that we get a good idea of what's going on.
Motion by Councilman Deason, second by Councilman Pacer, to approve the fire department report. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. You have a report from the code enforcement and zoning enforcement officer report. Everybody go away? Motion to approve.
What kind of stuff do they put on that zoning report?
Well, there was, there's a list here. Let's see, porch remodel on the Sweetland Road, new heating, wood stove, Sweetland Road, addition to a Buckley Road, addition to a land separation, an addition on the Fargo Road, outside addition, etc.
The house up there across from the park, are people living in that house?
The small one, you mean?
Yeah,
I don't know.
they can't be, it's illegal, they haven't got any front steps.
That's not illegal. It didn't pass the C of O, so if they're
You
there.
can't give him a permit only for 30 days to work in that house, to live there. Other than that, you can't
I don't
move
know.
into all
Have you seen anybody
entrances and
living in?
entrances there.
Somebody living in there? I haven't.
I don't know, you see a car going in and out there all the while, but I don't know.
Who's looking at the lady?
Yeah, there's a pickup goes in and out of there all the time.
Well,
So basically 14 permits and 3 complaint follow-ups.
Thank you.
okay, motion to approve this report.
Jean's gonna, should ask Jean to find the format again and type it out so we don't have to
Read his writing.
read the writing.
At least it's better than last one.
So some of these are,
Hieroglyphics
some of these
here.
are a little,
Who seconded that, to
I did.
you? Okay.
What's up to Eugene said? Chicken
Motion by
soup.
Councilman Deason, second by Councilman Pacer, to approve the code enforcement, zoning enforcement officer's report. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? I have the assessor's report. The 2023 tentative roll was completed on April 24th and delivered to the county. Notice was published in the Batavia Daily News that it was filed and is available at the town office. I picked up the roll from the county on Friday, April 28th, and delivered to the town clerk. Grievance day is Tuesday, June 6th. The Board of Assessment Review will be meeting from 4 to 8 p.m. Currently, we have one that is expected to appear. We received the certified star amounts from the state. The basic star will be $32,240, and the enhanced star will be at $81,400. Breakdown of stars savings by school district: Batavia City basic $577, enhanced $1,360. Byron Virgin $670, $1,580 is enhanced. Leroy $665, enhanced $1,553. Pavilion $553, enhanced is $1,305. 3 school districts have posted their primary school tax rates. These are subject to change. Batavia School $1,809, Byron Virgin $2098, Leroy $1963. That's the assessor's report. Motion to approve.
So move.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Pacer, second by Councilman Tran, to approve the report from the assessor. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried. Lumsden M. McCormick Audit Report. I'll read the first paragraph. It's Town Board, Town Justices, and Management. We have performed the procedures enumerated below and evaluating the sufficiency of the accounting records maintained by the justices of the town of Stafford, New York for the year ended December 31st, 2022. The justices of the town are responsible for the maintenance and accuracy of the records as mandated by New York state law. And I have the report here. You're all done. Motion to approve this.
So,
Second.
Motion by Councilman Tran, second by Councilman Panic to approve Lumsden McCormick audit report. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Yeah, I was gonna give you guys a brief,
Okay.
yeah, sort of.
Sure.
I don't know where to stand, but I'm gonna just hit there's a PowerPoint in the front, just to kind of summarize it at a high level. Obviously, this is our first year doing it. Last year, you guys didn't have an audit. I'll just hit it real high level, but if you have questions, please let me know. If you go to page 1 of the PowerPoint, it kind of summarizes what Bob talked about as far as the various reports that are in here. If you look at the first one, the audit report on the financial statements, basically what we're hired to do, that is to express an opinion on whether the financial statements are free from material misstatement. We issued a clean, unmodified opinion, the best opinion we can issue, so good job. The next 2 reports in there, the one required with communication letter and the management letter, there's a couple slides, so we'll get in that in a couple seconds. The justice report and the annual update document, they're not in this packet. The annual update documents, basically, it's a New York State requirement. It's basically a result of the audited financial statements. They kind of want it in their software, so we did that on time. It was due at the end of April. That just submitted, so all villages, towns, cities have to submit that. The justice report's report required by the New York State Office of Court Administration. That's not in there, but they want us to look at, make sure that we're following all the proper procedures and regarding receipts and disbursements. And that has to get submitted annually as well to New York State. So if you go to page 2, you'll kind of see our various fund balances from the over the past year on our just in the PowerPoint, and it kind of shows which each of our funds at. So obviously our general fund's our largest fund. We had a $107,000 surplus this year. You can see we're about $653,000 in total. There's various categories of our fund balance in there. You see we got a capital reserve about $50,000. Our assigned is basically the amounts we want to use for next year's, we plan to use fund balance for next year's budget expenditures. That's about $117,000. Now, the $107,000 this year, last year about $240,000. We'll kind of get why that went up and down in the next couple slides. But if you look at your capital projects fund next, that's a deficit right now. We did borrow a bond anticipation note, so as we pay that down, accounting standards, that $305,000 will kind of wipe itself out once we pay off the bond. The highway fund had another deficit of about $178,000. Prior year's $290,000. It actually did about the same as 2021, but in our 22 budget, we approved to use $134,000 in the voter-approved budget from expenditure in the general fund recognizes revenue in the highway fund to kind of offset that. And that'll play a part in how the general fund did as well. And then water and cemetery fund are basically the same, just interest in little activity. If you look in the page 3, you kind of see all of our revenues. This is for all funds. Most of it is general, but our property taxes are kind of distributed amongst the other funds that we have. That's up 124,000. That's pretty much due to the fire district contract. 406,000 this year. Last year was about 286, and it's a revenue expense. It nets itself out to zero surplus, and we'll kind of see that in the next. Non-property taxes, that's our sales tax distribution from Genesee County. We're up about 97,000. We've kind of seen that all across the board in Western New York. COVID got better, so we were having more sales, reimbursements. And then the other categories are pretty flat from the prior year. If you go to your expenditures on the next one, you can kind of see salaries and employee benefits, roughly the same. We didn't really have too much change. Salary expense went up 1.5%, and employee benefits, retirement rates went down a little bit because the pension system did a little bit better. Health insurance expense went up because we had someone go from single to family plan. Transportation's up about 278. We bought a couple new trucks, $211,000 truck in the year, and then another like $60,000 truck. Public safety, as I mentioned, that's our contract with the fire department. That went up $106,000 in that public safety category. And then contractual is down because we had less capital projects in the prior year. That's less equipment purchases, less repairs, things like that. Just looking at the general fund, as I mentioned, we had about $107,000. Last year's $240,000, but if you put that $134,000, that one-time expense that hit the general fund, that got transferred over to the highway, we're actually up about $240,000. We're pretty much the same. Revenue went up $35,000 from 22 from 2021. Expenses were up $38,000. So our general fund's been fairly consistent these last 2 years. If you go to page 5, this is just recording, taking our fund basis and adding in our long-term assets and liabilities. Our assets are capital assets, so we have about $7.2 million in buildings, equipment, land, so forth. The pension, that -116, that's just our ERS, the retirement system. In 22, that's about 103% funded. In 2021, it was about 99%, so it was a liability. So in 22 financial statements, we have an asset. That's going to change. That's based as of March 31st, 2022. So we'll have the 2023. Mostly it's driven by investments. So that will affect our contribution rates that we are putting on our employees. Long-term liabilities, that's our bonds. We had about $3,085,000 in bonds outstanding. And then other liabilities, that includes our bond anticipation note of $310,000. And then our deferred ARPA funds that we haven't spent yet of roughly $238,000. That's it for numbers. I don't know if you guys have questions. I went through that pretty quick. The last 2 reports here are, one is required to be communicated to you guys. If you look at it, it's a very standard letter. It just basically say, we have no issues, no disagreements, no uncorrected misstatements. Your accounting staff does really good here. So the one thing we'll mention, there was a new accounting standard adopted. Doesn't really have much of an impact on your bottom line, but we're required to report it. It's basically recording a lease receivable related to postal service that we get rent from. And then the last report here is the management letter, just recommendations, things that we come across, just make you aware of. The only one that's really a recommendation, the other ones are just more disclosures. It's just capital assets. We haven't had a fixed capital asset inventory by an independent party come in, look at everything, make sure that we have everything as far as agreeing to our financial statements in a while. So there might be things that, so that was really one of our only recommendations. Something to consider. But outside of that, good job, everybody.
Thank you.
Quick question.
Yep.
Prior audits would sometimes hone in on the fact that because we're so small, sometimes the correct controls are
Yes.
difficult to do.
yes.
Did you find the same thing and simply didn't note it?
No, it's in this financial accounting and external reporting. I didn't go over it because it's common amongst, there's not much else you guys can do. It gets on the cost benefit analysis, but, you know, that's where you guys come in, reviewing and approving things. But yes, it is in there. I just kind of skipped over it, but it's in that the first one in financial reporting comment. But if you read through the whole report, you would see it. So that's something we see across almost all towns, honestly. It's hard to hire a full accounting staff, especially nowadays with staffing shortages. But
Well, you know our arrangement.
yes, and they
that works out for everyone.
Yep, they're both fairly good.
So we're would you say we're no worse than we've been in
No, I
prior
think
years
everything's
as far as controls?
yeah. No, I think you guys do a good job of reviewing and approving things as well, and that's all. That's the way to mitigate these things. Is we only have really 2 people doing everything. You guys just constantly reviewing stuff. So.
That's why I was kind of flashing.
Oh yeah,
report,
okay. So yeah, I was
trying to find that little paragraph.
Yes, it's in that one.
That our priors used to put in there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
Thanks. We got Jimmy. He looks at eagle eye here on the bills.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Resolution 29, Farmland Protection Implementation Grant. Whereas the town board received notice from the GENESEE Land Trust that Branton Realty LLC, DYC Realty LLC of 8618 Buckland Road, Leroy, New York, has applied for a farmland protection implementation grant, round 19, through the New York State Department of Agriculture and Markets. Whereas part of this plan includes providing support for local farms that are attempting to sell property development rights, especially through New York State Department of Ag and Markets grant program, and therefore be it resolved that the town authorizes the town supervisor to sign the attached letters of support for the farms and to provide them to the GENESEE Land Trust for inclusion with their respective applications to the state. Let me read that second paragraph. I don't quite understand that. Whereas part of this plan includes providing support for local farms that are attempting to sell property development rights, especially through the New York State Department of Ag and Markets grant programs.
Basically, GENESEE Land Trust is acting as, tell me if I'm wrong, acting as the intermediary.
Yes, yeah.
On the grants.
They oversee everything.
And,
They hold the paperwork.
yep.
Think maybe the whole town should be included in this sometime?
They'll kind of restrict.
Yeah, they only take a certain number of parcels or acres. They only have a fixed dollar amount to work with each time. So this time they were looking for three farms basically. There'll be another round eventually, but this, if we go along with it and are approved, which at this point we have not signed a paper, but it takes 2 to 4 years from beginning to end. So it's a long process. It has to remain farmland. Cannot be developed with solar. They do designate a certain percentage of acreage for support facility, if you would say, like, if you need to put a building up, say you're a dairy operation or something, you need to put another barn up, they would limit how much area could be developed with a barn or infrastructure, I guess I should say.
But not residents.
Pardon me?
Not a residence.
It just, it's a way to get some of the money out of it without actually selling it. It has to stay as farmland
How many years?
forever.
Forever.
It's a forever deal. There's some kinks in it, but the kinks are, I'm gonna use my mother's original farm that Chad bought the house and the barns, separated it off, has a separate tax parcel. He's the owner. The rest of the property we bought in the LLC at DYC, so we own the property around it. So we looked at signing that up. And because Chad is a member of DYC, his property would be included in the grant and would have to stay with the parcel, even though it's a separate tax number. He cannot sell it outside of the whole parcel. And same with our place over on Buckley Road with the Skelton property. That again, the house and the barns is, and Yvonne's in my name, and the property's in DYC, but since we are part of the LLC, that would also have to stay with it, so. But,
I was trying to figure out why you needed board approval for this. And I did some research on it, that, you know, researched the GENESEE, I forget what their formal name is, GENESEE land grant or whatever they're called. And really what it comes down to is, for us and the properties you're doing, it's kind of easy because it doesn't affect our zoning map whatsoever.
Right.
I mean, you don't come and ask our permission if you were going to sell it off as a house, but because it's so much, I think they want to make sure that we agree it's in agreement with our comprehensive plan. So then looking at all the properties, they're all in AR. There's not even a mention in the plan where we would have future development there. So I don't see a problem with it. The only thing I thought is that, all right, this one's an easy one. Where it may get dicier is where you have, say, somebody has property that they, you know, along 33 or 5, where it's been zoned for possible commercial use, or in our comprehensive plan, possible commercial use. For those, what I think we should do is route it through the planning board first to check for those things, and then on to us, just, you know, boom, boom, 2 meetings, and do it like that. But it is, I found it fairly straightforward.
yeah, I don't know commercial property, if they would
No.
accept that.
No, it just, you think about Pittsford and Henrietta and all that, where it's really a big deal when you declare something you're not going to develop forever.
Can you add land to it? If you purchase land down the road, can you add land to it?
It would be another grant. You would have to go through the whole process again.
We were told, Ian told us that if we sold the house and barn part, that she would commercial market the rest of it.
Commercial market.
It would be taxed as and marked as commercial property.
No.
That's what she told us.
Who told?
And
Sapienza?
Why would it be commercial?
but that's what she told us what happened.
If it's ag and residential, just because.
That's what she told us. That's all I can tell you.
No, hang on. This doesn't have to do with how land is taxed underneath solar panels, does it?
No.
All right.
That-
I've never heard that.
It doesn't affect your property tax at all. It doesn't do anything to property tax.
Nothing.
Do you think this is gonna devalue or increase value of property? Doesn't matter, because if you sell this, if you ever had to sell this, this grant goes with, I mean, this
Yes.
stays that way
This
as ag land forever.
Yeah, it just stays with the property.
And the state can never, that you're aware of, the state can never come back and say, we're gonna waive this whole thing and put a solar farm on it.
Not that I'm aware of, but
Right.
eminent domain, you
Yeah.
know, they,
Yeah.
Well, or they could,
politicians do strange
Yes, they
things.
sure do.
you're never safe from the state. They could declare it as a farm use that fits with these grants, and, I mean, we're susceptible anytime that the state could drop Article 10 down to even covering households, and we're out of the solar business completely if the states decide so. No, I think it's a great thing. I'm not surprised that you're the first one to come up with this. So,
Well, being on the county farmland protection board, I
Yeah.
get these notifications, all of a sudden I see some of my neighbors off Leroy Way. See, they're primarily focusing on the Genesee River watershed. So yeah, they were doing this over in Livingston County for a number of years, and it finally started trickling this way. They did some up Bethany Way, which we questioned why, but now they started moving it this way a little bit. So I get notification that some of the farms east of here are signing up for it and in the Genesee watershed, and I said, well, I know our water goes that way too, so I did what about us, what if? And it worked out, you know, like I say, they picked three different farm operations to work with, and they're limited to how much land they can take in it, but it's not a get-rich thing. It's a one-time payment, and it's taxable. Yeah, it's not tax-free.
How many acres are you gonna do for total?
Pardon me?
How many acres total are you gonna do?
Oh, we've got like close to 800 signed up, potentially.
Right.
ooh, that tax thing hurt. Regular income or capital gain?
Regular income to my knowledge. You know, and I questioned, they already came in and did an appraisal on part of it, and the appraisal depends on location. The Roanoke property that we did where the grain bins are, since Roanoke Road is already highly developed, our development rights there, our development value there is far less than your former farm, Bob. That's worth more down, because road frontage plays a big part in it.
Well, I had to pay, $60,000 in capital gains when I sold it.
Didn't tell you that up ahead, did they? No. See, you got it too cheap when you got it.
I forgot
You
exactly.
should put a lot of so-called improvements into it. But, you know, we're looking at $1,300 to $1,500 an acre payment around there. And,
But if all of a sudden the kids decide to go farm in another state and they sold off, they'll have to sell it for farmland. That's it.
Yes.
The development's gone.
yes.
Gone.
Yep. Whatever farmland's going for, that's what
That's
it's
it.
worth. And that's why, you know, I questioned, you know, the value of it. I said, well, solar ground, you know, somebody wants to come and put their farm into solar, and they can get equivalent payments or more annually. This is a one-time deal, but the catch is, solar development is rental. It's not purchase, it's rental. So it does not have any influence on the development rights.
Basically, you've taken the position you're gonna farm the land and you're gonna lock it in as farmland.
Yeah.
And that's it.
That's our position. I mean, I'm getting old enough now, I ain't gonna do it forever, but that's what Chad wants to do, and you know, transition the farm over to him, and hopefully if he decides to give up somewhere down the road, there'll be somebody wanting to buy some more farmland, but.
Well, if we lay everything under solar panels in the next couple, underneath the farmland's gonna be in short supply.
Yeah.
I think we got the solar panels pretty well covered.
Yeah.
Maybe.
like I said, I tried to research this the best I could. Beyond just doing the, if we get another one, do the cycle at the planning board, just have them bless it too. I can't see it for this one because it's so straightforward. I make a motion that we accept Resolution 29, authorization for supervisor and letter of support of farmland protection implementation grant for Brenton Farms.
I'll second.
Motion by Councilman Panic, second by Councilman Schramm. And have a roll call vote.
Councilman Panic?
Yes.
Councilman Schramm?
Yes.
Councilman Deason?
Yes.
Councilman Pacer?
Yes.
Supervisor Clement?
Yes. Passed 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you. Just, it looks like something worth doing. Go with that.
Okay.
Let's see, item number 10, surplus equipment. Whereas the town of Stafford has determined that the following item is no longer needed for the town use and that it should be sold, auctioned, and deleted from inventory. It's a 2015 Dodge Ram pickup truck. Now therefore be it resolved, the Stafford Town Board hereby declares the equipment as surplus and authorizes the highway superintendent to sell it at auction. Motion to do that. Discussion.
You know, it's,
State bid on the new one?
yeah, that one we ordered back a year ago, a year and a half, it's finally gonna show up. So, wanna get this surplus so we can get,
How many miles on
I think there's 50, 60 on it. It's starting up. Another couple of years, it's gonna look pretty ugly, so it's time.
it? You still do well on this stuff. Somebody will buy it.
Yeah.
So,
Make a motion to sell it.
second.
Yeah,
And they,
takes almost a month to get it on the auction.
yeah, they picked up the non-runner and that's all done?
Yep, gone.
Gone?
Motion by Councilman Deason, second by Councilman Panic. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passed.
We have to check
5-0. And then you hit.
Yeah, I'll certify that one.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, when I gotta do the award.
You gotta do it first?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Resolution 31, item number 11 on the agenda. Accepting base bid B, polyvinyl chloride PVC pipe, including alternates 2 and 4. Whereas the town of Stafford would like to approve accepting the base bid B, polyvinyl chloride PVC pipe, including alternate 2, upsizing portions of main to 12-inch, and alternate 4, horizontal bore across Pro Road and throughway crossing, received from Sergi Construction for a total amount of $3,528,662 and awarding the contract to them contingent upon concurrence of award by USDA Rural Development and the New York State EFC for Water District Number 12. Whereas the town of Stafford sees the need for Water District Number 12 to proceed with the acceptance of this resolution. Therefore, the town of Stafford will approve the base bid B for Water District 12 in the amount of $3,528,662. Originally, there was all the rest of the pipe in the town is ductile iron, but this would have put, times have moved on, and it would be not cost effective to use it, so go to PFZ 5, everybody else uses it.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Councilman Pacer, second by Councilman Panic. Roll call.
Councilman Panic?
Yes.
Councilman Shan?
Yes.
Councilman Deason?
Yes.
Councilman Pacer?
Yes.
Supervisor Clement?
Yes. Passed 5-0. Resolution 34. Resolution 34, authorizing the supervisor to sign documents for Water District Number 12. Whereas the town of Stafford may have documents that need to be signed for Water District 12, and therefore the town board of the town of Stafford shall authorize the town supervisor to sign any documents related to Water District 12, and using the deputy supervisor as an alternate to sign any documents.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Pacer, second by Councilman Deason. Roll call.
Councilman Panic?
Yes.
Councilman Shan?
Yes.
Councilman Deason?
Yes.
Councilman Pacer?
Yes.
Supervisor Clement?
Yes. Passed 5-0. Let's see, we did the 31. Yes. Resolution 32.
We have a representative from the engineering firm here. Do you want him to speak now?
Oh, all right.
Yeah, we can do.
If you would like to say a few words, please
Yeah.
do so.
Well, part of accepting the base, or basically B, and awarding that, we need you to sign the notice of award. That'll be part of the paperwork that goes to Sergi, so that they can do the next part through the agreement. So that's one of the documents you'll need to sign tonight.
And you want to take this?
Yes, I'll need to take that with me. There's a copy for you in the packet that I brought this evening.
Right here.
Yeah. This,
Yeah, okay. We voted, okay. Now we need a motion to authorize me to sign
we
this.
just did that.
We just did.
We just did that.
that.
This one now. You need to sign this one. Is this appropriate at this time?
Sure. There was a
This is a
similar
form,
version.
this is a
of
form,
that
form E?
Yes,
Okay.
similar version that was included in the packet that broke out the original budget, the modified budget,
Okay.
and where we are currently. Because it was a small adjustment with,
It was labor cost.
yeah, well, the labor cost was increased on change order.
Right.
There was also a small change in the net interest.
Well, we should have a copy.
It's in the paper.
Yes.
Is it in there?
Yes, I'll scan all of this and email it to USDA and copy it to the clerk as well, so that you have copies.
And we'll make a copy of the copy.
Okay.
And then Jeremy signs.
as well.
If anything goes wrong, we'll visit you.
On top of the
Appreciate that.
Okay, and Rob needs to sign both of these now. And you can already these now.
Doing all
Yep.
Might as well.
And if you sign, I will notarize your signature twice.
This is me, right?
Oh, that's what I always said too, there's a place in the world, but not where they are. They're just picking grapes off the vine is all they're
You
doing.
break the board down off the mill, especially at rock ledge. Where you make a mistake and you come up from the west, or east, or finishing lane, you know you made a mistake.
It's all Connecticut, Massachusetts,
Yeah, no.
Albany.
It happened once before, really close.
They're sitting
With your
there.
contractor, but yes.
Looking at the computer, oh, there's no
This one
spot.
happened just east of here.
Yes.
Okay, right around their house, 120 acres.
Yeah.
Power lines are adjacent to us.
Yeah.
That's the change order.
Send you this change over
For the labor and all that.
Yes, the increased cost since the jail from last week.
Just east of here.
Which is very reasonable for different projects similar size of $138,000.
Well, that doesn't mean it was hollow underneath that line.
Run with that
You
ledge.
made it.
Yes.
Very
much so.
It's sort of going up like this instead of going straight. I think it broke that board back to the started looking at somebody else going to do it. That's it.
A much bigger outfit
Yeah.
because subject to insuring this.
Yeah.
So it's really nice program.
Great.
Depending what you like, but it's almost something.
Do you have a start date at all? Like, you have an estimated start date?
Not yet.
Okay.
That was one of the questions I've asked the last couple of days is we need a schedule.
Certain.
Everyone's asking.
Right.
But it's gonna take probably a month or so to get all the paperwork squared away and agreements back.
So that's June. So
So
we
the
can
best
start as soon as
is
July.
August, maybe.
Provided they can get the pipe.
Yeah.
That's probably the big lead.
Right, agreed.
Because one of the projects that I started in February, they had to pull from 5 separate supplier locations throughout the state and into, I think, Pennsylvania or Massachusetts
Right.
to get the 20,000 feet of pipe that they needed. So,
We're looking like 90 to 120 days to finish the project, something like that.
somewhere in there.
Okay, do you need these right now?
Signature pages?
Yes.
I can take those now.
Do you need those now?
Yes.
So, right?
Was it a long line or a green line?
The power off.
That one is underground.
Change order you do not sign at this point, because we need to have the agreement signed first.
Well, we got the change order resolution.
Right, requesting it.
Yeah.
That's all we need to do tonight, just request it.
Okay.
And it'll go with the paperwork to Sergi, with the agreement papers.
All right.
Sign the agreement and the change order, provide the bond and insurance and send it back. And when that comes back, we'll review it, my partner will review it, he'll sign off on his part. And then it'll get presented to the town board, we've already passed the resolution, so when it comes back, you can sign it once Mark Boylan and CPL say it's good to go.
I'm surprised.
Then we don't have to wait for a board meeting.
All right. I'll take care of that.
Great.
It's my worship. So,
Yeah.
haul it up to your in-laws farm.
You're notifying us when the construction meeting.
Yes. Once we have all the paperwork and all the reviews, with the documentation, we'll schedule a pre-construction meeting, we'll let the board know and
Okay.
we'll get some other letters out for residents. Water Authority, I know will be wanting to hold a sign up for water service.
Okay. We're good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Resolution 32, requesting change order number 1 from Surgic Construction, Inc. Whereas the town of Stafford is requesting change order number 1 from Surgic Construction Incorporated for the increased cost associated with the delay to the award in the amount of $38,445,096 depending. Yeah, right. Pending approval by USDA Rural Development and New York State EFC, and whereas the town is asking for this change to proceed with Water District 12 in the town of Stafford, and therefore the town of Stafford is agreeing to the change in the award to Sergi Construction in the amount of $38,445.96.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Decent, second by Councilman Schramm. Roll call vote.
Councilman Pianic?
Yes.
Councilman Schramm?
Yes.
Councilman Deason?
Yes.
Councilman Pacer?
Yes.
Supervisor Clement?
Yes. Passed 5-0. Resolution number 33. Purchase of a Chevrolet 2500 heavy-duty truck for the Highway Department. Whereas the Highway Department has the need to replace a truck. Whereas Highway Superintendent would like to purchase a new Chevrolet 2500 heavy-duty 2023 from Jim Barnard Chevrolet, OGS Award number 23166, contract number PC 68975. Resolved, the Town of Stafford Board hereby authorizes the purchase of 2023 Chevrolet 2500 HD. Further resolved, money will be appropriated from sale of the surplus equipment auction and DA 5142.1 and .4, DA 5130.2. Any further questions?
You see my email there? I know it's a couple of them.
Just real quick, you keep 3 pickups on the road. I know one's yours, one's for mowing.
The other is to and from when we work in other towns, and
All right.
we keep all our sign stuff and chainsaws on that one.
So you don't have to drive a big truck.
Kind of an
Yep.
emergency truck.
That's always the old one, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we just,
So moved. Second.
Any further discussion? Motion by Councilman Pacer, second by Councilman Panic to purchase the Chevrolet truck. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passed 5-0. Next. You're next.
At last, I hope. Okay, the flags. I got all the information on the flags. When I first asked about the flags, we had come up with some of these designs. Since then, I sort of changed my mind. And that's right. And instead of having the flag on top, I thought maybe we'd rather have the town of Stafford on the top instead of the flag on the top. So the ones that she should come up with. Okay, these are the 2 that she came up with. Okay, can you see? I'll pass it around.
Yep.
Barb's seen them.
I've seen them.
it still on? Good.
Double those flags would be kind of small, wouldn't they?
I guess I'm leaving the choice. Okay. Oh no, help me. I went sideways. I hate these things. There we go. Okay, here we go. Okay. Okay, opinions?
It's simple.
We just thought that the two cross flags designate something less than what the one big flag would be. And I think they're smaller, I think the bigger, the one big flag is the better way.
So those are a banner, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause when you said town of Stafford above the flag, I was thinking,
Yeah, because see,
we don't
these
have
were,
a flag, and
Yeah.
that was solid
That was like.
Put it in.
protocol either.
these were the flag town
Yep.
of Stafford stage.
Yep.
I thought it, like the town of Stafford at the top.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Okay?
I thought you were talking about actual flags. That's
Oh,
where it'll be goofy.
Okay, after the different phone calls, she did quote me once at 195, could go up to 225. Fortunately, we're down to 175 plus tax, braces, and everything.
No
No
tax.
tax.
Huh?
No tax.
Didn't
Yeah,
I,
no tax.
oh,
Right.
you said tax, okay. I gave you the
Yeah,
tax
so,
itself, okay.
if that pleases everybody, we can go through with that. We had gone down through town. This is Route 5 across from the park down to before the old railroad track. Come down 237, and I believe we have 3
There's such a country.
to the country club.
Do we have a total amount on
17 flags.
it? No, total dollar amount.
No, she didn't quote that. I mean, it's under 3,000.
That's what I was gonna ask.
Yeah.
Do we have to do
I
competitive?
twisted.
Well, because that would be painful. You get everything all set up and then you have to go.
Big
Oh,
surprise.
but yeah, now we gotta.
That's just under 3,000.
Good.
I didn't write that down. No.
Use it.
So, we approved she has to have a $500 down payment. She puts it down in the credit card. So, she'd like a little bit.
What account would this come out?
Town hall
Contractual, yeah.
Like buying anything for the park.
Yeah.
All right.
Your betterment fund.
Can't find anywhere else to move it, we'll take it out of there.
Start a betterment.
I want to.
Mr. Ball,
That's fine.
will the town be able to put these up?
What kind of turnaround, I think? Well, when you get them to me.
Yeah.
Okay, otherwise that's gonna be an extra cost.
Already talked to them.
Having someone put them up.
What did I figure, a week or two?
Good ideas.
Yeah. Or we're looking more like 4th of
Put
July.
on fundraisers and all kinds of.
Oh,
What's the roll?
Don't forget your phone.
Oh, I'm sorry, thank you.
all right. We'll hope for the 4th of July. How's
We
that?
will. We will.
Sounds good.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you everyone, thank you for passing it.
Thank you for the time you invested into doing this.
We need a motion to do this.
Nice work, Linda.
So moved.
Nice work, Linda.
Oops, sorry.
Motion by Councilman Pacer, second by Councilman Deason to do the flag project. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. James Pontillo, talk about comments made by a former code officer.
Evening. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak. Last month, I reached out, I called the town, got the switchboard, and I had to talk to code enforcement. So, went through the process. Mr. Wood's name was still on there, his number. I didn't think nothing of it. You know, I don't know if something happened prior to the last, so I just went ahead, called, left a message. He did not get back to me, so I called the next day for a follow-up. Then he contacted me, and there were some things that were discussed there that I want to clarify with the board. And just to make it really short, Mr. Wood conveyed to me the only reason that he was terminated was because of what I said during a previous meeting. And it had nothing to do with his conduct, and that was expressed to him by a board member. So I just want to clarify that, because I said you go back and look at the tape. I recall that what I had suggested to the board is that if some of this was true, that we should give him administrative leave just to clarify, to make sure it's not just hearsay. And I believe after I spoke, there was some documentation that was provided. I don't know, I wasn't here for the follow-up meeting, so that's why I didn't think nothing of it when I called. You know, so I believe Barb, since then I called and she made some changes to the voicemail. And so I did get a hold of Gene Sinclair, and we were able to clarify what I needed to do. So I just would like to know from the board if that was conveyed to him, and if you would be willing to go on record that I'm not the reason why he was terminated, that it was for other reasons.
We normally can't discuss the
but he's going
detail,
out.
but what I can tell you, since I sat in on when Ed and I met with him for the preliminary meeting, and then when Bob and I went for the last meeting, your name wasn't even brought up.
Okay. I didn't believe it, but that's why I felt, because of his demeanor on the phone and some of the things that were said, and I just let him go. I mean, when he was done, I said, you know, good day, and I felt it was necessary, at least I come to the board, that that's what was being conveyed.
Right.
So.
You, when I stopped in, you were in with Gene getting things done, everything working well there?
Yes, yep, we just had to come down, go over some permits and different things and direction that we're going. And so that's the reason I called last month, and so there was a little delay because I was going to Mr. Wood on not knowing that I had to talk to Gene. And no, those things happen, you know, so again, I just wanted to clarify that and let you know that that was being conveyed to me, and I just wanted to make sure that that wasn't the case. So, okay.
Okay.
Thank you, appreciate your time.
My memory is correct with both of you guys, yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
I was there.
All right.
Kathy Worthington.
The website, I know it's under construction, is that how I want to put it? It's being changed. There's updates and stuff being done. First off, one that just came about during this, the assessor and the new report, the 2023, is that going to be put on the website?
There's no change from 2023 from the previous website, so there's no increase in assessments at all.
Oh,
so it's
okay.
just basically the reprinting of the same.
The reprinting of the
right.
same,
So you have the
23
opportunity
is the...
Right.
Oh,
So you just
okay.
have the opportunity to appeal your assessment.
To appeal, well, that'll be a busy night, won't it? Okay. And with the website, I guess I can direct it to Barb, I don't know. It is not, I don't know how many people have gone to the website lately. It's not user-friendly for printing. The format is different. So, I mean, like when I went to print the agenda, it doesn't come out like in one page, you get everything that's on that. Have you tried to print from the website? Anybody? Because I normally go in and print.
What's the file format that it's in? Is it a
Is it
web-based?
PDF?
It's whatever Hurricane Technologies, WordPress, whatever they put on it.
Because they were PDFs.
They were
before.
PDFs.
Yeah, they're not PDFs now.
And now they're probably a web,
Yeah.
Web-based, yeah.
so you may have to change your printer settings.
Or you can do a conversion to PDF off your computer.
Right.
Well, I just highlighted it, cut and pasted it, so I just get one page. But, I had asked Barb about the cost of the website, because in one of the meetings I missed, looking back at the minutes. Do we have a new website company? Is it
It's
the same one you've always had, it's just,
No,
okay.
it's a totally different company, and they're doing it for us.
Okay, so they're doing it, or you're still doing the
I
updates?
am doing the updates. They designed the website for me,
They designed
and
it.
I put all the meeting minutes on it. Today I put in the recreation is doing the sign up. Whatever needs to be done, I put it on.
And I asked about a cost for that. Do we still don't have a cost on what we're paying the new company?
There's a bill.
We should have that.
Yeah, there's a
We've got
bill
it
today. In
One of the issues is that our previous service was where the actual interaction to the web page was handled by the company itself. So, which was pricey to do, and then they got even pricier, which made it, we had to do something about it. Tell me if I'm repeating history correctly.
Well, yes. We got a letter last year, and they doubled their price as by the date. If we did not change by the beginning of this year, no, not this year, by April, I believe, it would go from $2,500 a year to $5,000 a year. And I couldn't see doing that. I got bids, and last year we paid $2,500 for the year. The company that I chose is going to be $1,500 a year.
And what company is this now? Is this that Hurricane people?
Yes, it is. We're saving $3,500 a year. And
They don't, you still, I guess, I do websites all the time, so I guess I don't understand when you said it's web-based versus PDF. So it's not going to be, I'll try resetting my printer settings, but I've never had to do that before. Because when you go to a page, it doesn't print out the whole, I'll try my printer. But you do have, we do know the cost, so it's just less. So what exactly are they doing for that? They just set up the design? Is it gonna be the same design as we've always had with the links at the top because they're not working?
No, it's not exactly the same. You're gonna have to play with it. I have to play with it. I haven't had time to play with it. I add to it.
So
I put things on, and I have not had, Kathy, I have not had time to sit down.
Well, I
play with it.
understand that, but when the board tells us if we want to know something about the town and stuff, go to the website and look for it. Well, when you go to the website and look for it, you can't find it, because it's not there. Like if you go to the newsletter's on there now, but before it wasn't. So I understand you're updating, but like documents, you go to the documents and it says, oops, that page doesn't exist any longer.
Well, that's where you're gonna have to play with it. It's a whole different design, a different company, they designed it differently, they did it their way.
I guess my question just would be, why would we change it until it was all done?
Because we'd have to pay $5,000 for a temporary service, that's why. So if we didn't pay by April 1st, it was gonna cost us $5,000.
Okay. Okay, I'll try to play around with it.
Barb, I have a question. Do you see an increase in the use of the internet?
I don't see it. I
You
know,
don't?
I have no idea who's using it.
The reason I ask that is that, give like Godfrey's Pond, for example, that the lady that does the sites and different things like that, somehow, I'll have to ask her, but somehow she's able to tell how many people are actually using the site, sharing the site, you know, all that type of thing. So she gets to see, is there an increase in use? My next question would be, is the company that you're going with, are they local?
Add-on.
Avon. So they're local enough. Maybe, because this also was done through another organization I worked with, is that we were able to get them to come down, and there might be a very minimal cost, but they're already saving us so much money, but maybe we could have a class to the people that are interested to maybe know how to use the site a little bit more efficiently. For yourself, maybe the board members as well, and other people that might want to come out with something like that. Just a suggestion.
Yeah, I never thought of it. It's a good
Yes.
suggestion.
And that might kind of clarify and maybe help out all around if that's something they'd be willing to do. I just know it has worked in the past. And
Good idea.
so.
Yeah, I can ask them, I have no idea, and I can ask them
Well, I know
also
you have to approve it, I
about
don't know,
usage.
you have to be, find out about your usage, but also maybe if
They could probably track it.
I'm sure they do.
Yeah, I just don't have that capability. So,
that would ask, maybe consider that, maybe we could, I would come to something like that, to know how to use the site a little bit more efficiently.
If you guys wanna pay for it, it's $100.
Maybe the law for it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's worth a phone call.
Thank you, Barb.
You're welcome.
Pay for
Thank
it.
you.
So that's it. Any further discussion? Steve, you got anything you wanna?
The only thing I got is at the highway, when people bring in brush, please do not bring them in the plastic bags. Dump out the stuff. Don't leave the bags there. I don't like going out dumping plastic bags. There's no reason for it.
You don't know what the hell's in there.
Yeah, it's a mulch pile, not a plastic pile. That's my only beef with it.
Do we have a sign for that?
Oh yeah, well, you'd have to read them.
Have another sign that says look and read.
So, that's the only, it's happened a few times, but they're in the middle of the driveway, so maybe the next guy comes in, will see them and take care of it.
Well, I swear fire.
So they gotta drive over it.
Decided
Right.
to get rid of that pile.
It's, the backside's rotten, starting to rot down real nice.
Oh, it is.
It's getting there.
Steve, is that open like all week during the day?
Yeah.
Or, so we can bring a load of brush down and dump it?
If you're a resident,
Yeah.
taxpayer,
I am.
a lot of people, you chase them out. If you come in and you don't know your address, beat it, get out.
That's the first one.
And it's happened.
Forget their license.
It's happened.
Ed?
A couple of things. Tony, I covered in depth everything we talked about, but I haven't finished up my research yet. But everybody agreed that I need to look into the 3 items and then the 4th. So, now I feel bad. Were you under the impression I was gonna cover it tonight? You knew I was gonna do it at the special meeting.
I knew when you were gonna get to it. I wasn't worried about tonight.
All right, no, good, good. Now, here's kind of an interesting one. I ran into Chuck Hoover from Elba at Walmart, and it must have been fate because I got delayed coming in from the car, and he's coming out of the registers, or else I never would have seen it. And he goes, have you heard from BW Solar? I don't know, they all of a sudden just went quiet. And he said that they've sold all their projects in Elba to another company. Now the other company is rushing around to try to make their deadlines because it went dead for them too, and then all of a sudden there's a big hurry up for projects that they actually approved. We were nowhere near that point, so.
You know the competition or was it?
No, he didn't say. The only other thing he said is that they were, and this is again, all of it's really here, no, it's not really hearsay since he is on their planning board. But the next one is that they were grumbling about the amount of support they're getting from the state. And that seems to be slowing things down. I think that's all I got. So that's why it's quiet. And there's really, all we can do is wait.
Well, they wanted us to change the zone,
Yes.
and I told them no. And I haven't heard anything from them since.
Yeah, that's
It's simple.
I figured the minute Chuck told me, I figured I better cover it at the meeting, because it just kind of left out hanging.
Yeah, first of all, I'd like to thank the board. You sent me to conference in April, and it was interesting. But I learned a few things, not a lot, because it was kind of a repeat of last year, but our demo session, we had the lawyers there, and I was quite impressed by how well we were doing with our agenda, our minutes, the way things are going, and we're all within the law, and workshops I went to were informative, and I met a few new people, had a lot of fun. The Mystery Theater was, the meal was terrible, but the rest of it was good. It was a picnic lunch, a picnic dinner for a $50 dinner. It wasn't. So it was good. It was in Syracuse, and it was good overall. We've got the taxes in, and we were right perfectly on the button 2 years in a row. So I'm very happy with that, and cost savings to the town by us doing it is a good thing. So I appreciate the support again.
Works out for you.
No, I was sweating for a little bit, but
We appreciate a good job.
well, thank you.
Much appreciated.
Thank you. It was it's good. I feel more confident now. I just have to. The utilities kind of messed me up because the county does them and it reflects and it looks weird. And it was good. Thank you.
I'm all set, thanks.
Jim?
I'm good.
I have a comment. If anybody was around Sunday, there was probably over 200 people at the park. They had that, did you see them? At least 200. They had a tournament, soccer tournament, the team that's been up there. I went up there the next morning and there wasn't a piece of paper on the ground. There was nothing. It was amazing. And nobody parked on the road. They even had somebody parking vehicles. So in other words, they did a great job. And I told this guy that runs it, this Sean, that I'd be coming to the board tonight, and if there was anything that he would like the board to know, and this was his comment, tell them that thank you for the use of the facilities. It was a great day of soccer between 4 different teams. Everyone walked away having fun and loved the field. So there you go, Thomas Stafford.
Nice.
It's good, I got use.
Oh, that's good. Well, let's go to the fire department to give it to us.
Yes.
You could have got us the building too, but.
Yeah, and thank Vickery for that. That was a nice, good building.
Yes.
May is National Preservation Month, and every time I go to church on Sunday and I look across the road at the old Stafford store, my heart feels so sick. I'm interested tonight that Mr. Pontillo is here, and I can't imagine how he could tell us his reasons for the neglect of the building and the way it's been treated for the last 8 years.
All I can say is we've been in litigation for the last 8 years.
That building is on one of the 4 corners that makes the town of Stafford. We have always, since we were children, said, go down to the Four Corners. The block that we chose for the quilt block on the museum is Four Corners. That building is a part of the Four Corners of Stafford, and it's been neglected far too long because you haven't taken care of it.
That's not true. It's because I spend tens of thousands of dollars in legal fees that I'd rather go towards the building.
Which comes first? Had you done it in the beginning, we
That's,
wouldn't.
I don't want to get into it because it's illegal, it's still going on, and there's still a lot of, so, I mean, if we want to have a discussion like that, maybe have it for a separate thing when it's not so late, but there's a lot of, it's been going on a long time. We're working through it. Hopefully now that we've got Gene back, me and Gene have also sat down and talked. We're in court last month. We got another court date coming up. So we'll leave it at that. I'm not gonna point fingers at anybody, but we are trying to move forward.
Thank you.
Thursday is the Day of Caring. It's all over the county and it's here in Stafford as well. We're going to have volunteers both in Islet Park and over at St. Paul's Church. We're going to be doing gardening work, and we can already see that the mulch has been delivered out on the pavement. And so we have workers in both places that are coming to volunteer in Stafford. And it's a whole county project, so it's nice that we have helpers here. Thank you.
Thank you. So then Stafford will be part of a county-wide day. It's nice.
Nothing further, we'll pay the bills.
Leaving it.
We're gonna bring wheelbarrows and stuff.
I didn't say young anymore.
It's spread out.
Will the lawn support a tractor?
Yeah. Especially over there.
What day is it?
The 11th. Thursday.
Ready? Make a motion to pay general fund number 5 in the amount of $29,724.88.
Repeat that, 20,000.
$29,724.88.
Motion by Councilman Peace to pay general fund number 5 in the amount of $29,724.88. All in favor, say aye. Well, wait a minute, second?
I did.
Okay. All in favor of paying that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Make a motion to pay highway number 5 in the amount of $25,681.93.
Wow. Motion by Councilman Deason.
Did you lose the bills or something?
Second by Councilman Pacer to pay highway fund number 5 in an amount of $25,681.93. Approve, all say aye.
Aye.
Okay, 5-0.
Make a motion to pay capital projects number 5 for $220,145.43. That's for the truck.
This is 220?
220,145.43.
Second by Councilman Pacer. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried. That's it?
That's it.
Okay.
No water districts.
That's 5 years.
You got it. Any further business?
Dan, didn't you wanna?
No, I'm good.
Motion to adjourn at 8:55.
So move.
Second.
Motion to adjourn by say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right.
I'll put it in.